It's time to learn one of the most epic rock songs ever on the drums, Eye of the Tiger. Welcome back to this drum lesson series for kids. This is video 3. If you haven't watched the other videos in this series, I suggest that you check them out first. This drum lesson is very important because we're going to be learning one of the most useful drum beats of all, which is featured in the song Eye of the Tiger. The drum beat sounds like this. So just to review from the last lesson, what we were doing is we were working on a coordination exercise in which we play the ride, the kick, and the snare at the same time like this. We're going to be doing something very similar today, except that we're going to be playing the hi-hat, the kick, and the snare. Now this is really important. When we play the hi-hat, we actually are going to cross our arms like this, cross our sticks, and we're going to be playing the hi-hat with our right hand. Now I have this closed here, this pedal. I'm pushing down on it so that the hi-hat cymbals are touching. So we're going to be playing the hi-hat with our right hand, okay? And it crosses over our snare. And our other stick, our left hand, is going to be below it, underneath, which is going to be playing the snare here. So we're basically going to make an X with our hands with the right stick on top, right hand. So one word about the hi-hat here. If your hi-hat isn't working just right, and you can't open and close it, there's something probably needs adjustment on this clamp here, this mechanism, all right? So you can open and loosen this clamp and raise this up and down like this. You have to hold this part. And you can also tighten it like by turning it clockwise, okay? So what you want on a hi-hat is you want a little space like this when you're not pushing down, like maybe a half inch here. Then you tighten it so it's kind of floating, and then you can close it like that. If this is a problem though, you can always just loosen this and just have it sit down like that and not even worry about it. Then it'll always be touching no matter what your left foot is doing. But otherwise, you're going to have to keep the hi-hat closed the whole time, otherwise it'll sound like this. Okay, so let's practice playing the hi-hat together. Just follow along with this beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And you want to try to let the stick bounce off and rebound off the hi-hat so that you're not holding it really tightly like this. And it just seems kind of forceful and you're tense in your hand here, you're stiff. You want to have it loose, the stick, so that it bounces off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. By the way, if you're curious about what drumsticks I use, I have Vader Manhattan 7As. They're kind of thin and long, so you can really whip them. Whip it good. So we're going to be playing the kick and the hi-hat with our left hand here on different counts on that count. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's practice our kick first with the hi-hat. Here's what it's going to sound like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're going to be playing the kick on 1 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then let's practice the snare now. So we're going to be playing the hi-hat and the snare. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the snare plays on beats 2 and 4. Let's try that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's okay if this is difficult at first. We're working on some coordination, and it can be tricky to know exactly what numbers to play on. So if you don't get it right away, just keep trying. I know you'll get it. I believe in you. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna combine the kick, snare, and hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's go in super slow-mo to make this easier. So we go kick and hi-hat starting together like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here's another way of thinking about it. Kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. Now let's try playing another coordination exercise with the hi-hat and the kick. Let's start with the hi-hat. And we're going to add the kick here. Kick, 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 kick. Now let's just do the hi-hat. Then we're going to add in the snare right here. Snare, 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 snare. Now it might be more difficult for you to play the kick and the hi-hat than the snare and the hi-hat. I'm not sure exactly why, probably just because it takes more coordination to play a beat with your foot than your hands. So if you can't do the kick and the hi-hat at the same time yet, that's fine. Maybe just do the hi-hat and the snare. So the numbers that I'm counting are the beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the ands are called the upbeats or the in-between offbeats. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. A helpful way to imagine this is to imagine a ball bouncing forward like this, and every time it bounces, it hits the ground, it's the number of the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then the and is the very top of the arc. You know, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now if we want to do Eye of the Tiger, we're just going to have to play the same beat, but a little bit faster. Here's the actual tempo of the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know every YouTuber asks this, but if you can hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, it would really help support me on YouTube. It encourages me to make more videos for you guys. Let's go somewhere in between where we were practicing and this fast tempo. So let's start by playing the hi-hat here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and remember to let that stick bounce. Like, try to not be stiff in the wrist and hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and let's add the kick right here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and here's that snare. 3 and 4, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and awesome. By the way, I have music learning videos for other instruments as well. I have a series for the guitar, the ukulele, and the piano, and I also have books for learning those instruments. You can check them out on my Shopify site. I also have an animated series where I animate this character named Casey, and it's kind of confusing because my name's actually Kelly, but the character Casey is the character in my books and in my animated videos. So the next steps for you, if you want to get even better at this, is to practice these coordination exercises at different speeds, starting slowly. You can just follow along with this video multiple times and play through the exercises. Try to do it the way I'm doing it first before you make changes. Try a few times. You might make a couple mistakes when you first start, and then it might just click for you. But if you keep trying and you keep trying, and you eventually get really frustrated and you find that it's too difficult, then make adjustments. So drop the kick drum out and just do the hi-hat and snare. Or you can practice playing the ride cymbal instead of the hi-hat like this. Hey, what song would you like to learn on the drums next? Leave me a comment below and I'll consider it for my next video. Thanks friends, I'll see you soon.